Welcome, my name is Double. I'm a member of the Few Good Men wargaming community, and this is an after-action report for a battle against Slaughterton-McKillem. It's a combat mission Fortress Italy quick battle engagement, and you'll see that the terrain has a lot of elevation, there are open areas, quite a lot of shrubs and woodland, but not a lot of hard cover. The battlefield has 5 objectives, and today I'm commanding the German combatants who are positioned in the southwest, and Slaughter is in charge of the British who are in the northeast, top right hand corner of the map. My forces comprise of 1 troop of Panzer IVs, which consists of 5 main battle tanks from the 2nd Battalion, with infantry support in the form of Panzer Grenadiers from 1st Company 3rd Battalion. It consists of 3 infantry squads and 2 81mm mortar teams. I also have some off-map mortar teams, but no HMGs. Panzer Grenadiers carry a reasonable amount of automatic weapons compared to the British, so I'm assuming I'm going to carry more than enough firepower. To be honest, this is my first mistake. So we head into our first minute. My teams are on weapons hold. My plan is to secure the 3 closest objectives and let my opponent attack me. So I'm sending out my troops with position orders for a defensive stance. This is the right flank, overlooking 2 of the objectives, so I'm sending out some scouts here, again on weapons hold. This is the left flank, and the first objective I secure, so I'm setting up some defensive positions and pushing up to the 2nd Corps. As I've met null position, I make a decision to push my troops onto a 3rd woodland area overlooking one of the other objectives, bringing more troops up to support their position. Get my first spot. Guys here fire off a few rounds. And so I get a first look at my adversary. The paras, I don't really take note. My second mistake. I'd expected to have met some resistance or opposition by now, but I hadn't, so I decided to push my troops into the 4th objective, and now you're seeing me make my 3rd mistake. So I order them into hard cover and defensive positions around buildings, with an expectation that they will hold this 4th objective. I also start ordering my troops into defensive positions along my left flank. And with my troops in defensive positions, I start moving my main battle tanks. I continue to fortify the villa on the 4th objective. And on the right flank I set up troops to overwatch the 3rd objective. A short while later I have to pull back the troops on the right flank as some mortar spotting rounds come in. And on the left flank we see some skirmish fighting as the British forces start to probe my defences. continue to push defend the villa, thinking that this is where the main battle is probably going to take place. I start to see a mortar barrage fall on the area where I need to set my overwatch with the 3rd objective, so confident that I've made the right decision to pull those troops back. I've been able to keep a couple of fire teams further back, overwatching the 3rd objective. As the Paras probed my lines, I started to see the effectiveness of the Sten guns and the automatic weapons that they carry. I started taking casualties. My fire teams of 3 rifles and 1 MG42 was no match for a fire team of Paras with their 3 or 4 Sten guns. SMGs. My left flank starts to collapse, and the Paras hit the villa. Pull my Panzer Grenadiers back as quickly as I can. I've misjudged my enemy and overstretched my own forces. Try and get some distance from the Paras and leapfrog my troops back. In an effort to support my troops, I bring up a Panzer IV. With my left flank exposed, my movement is limited. The Paras continue to attack. The Panzer Grenadiers fight hard, but I've ordered them to retreat. With my platoon falling back and my left flank crumbling, this battle is not going my way. The fighting is brutal. My Panzer makes its mark. Scheiße, Sherman. Get the first hit. It causes chaos in my retreating troops. My Panzer misses. second hit. A third, and the Sherman burns. I continue to pull my troops back to the first objective. With so much action on the left flank, I look to move my right flank forward to probe for any weaknesses in these forces. It's not long before my advance is engaged.
Achtung! Aufstehen, ihr Schweine! Achtung! Unten bleiben!
Once again, the paras hit me hard, and my advance stops.
Rückzug! Zieht euch zurück!
The attack on my left flank continues, with the paras moving up inside the woodland. Take the initiative, and my defences are going to crumble. Make the decision to counterattack on my left flank. So I push up a platoon of Panzer Grenadiers with 2 Panzer IVs in support. The Panzer takes an AT hit. There's got to be a Sherman out there somewhere. More shots are flying overhead. A third hit, still not spotting the Sherman. Keeps on focusing on the troops. A fourth hit and a casualty, still not spotting the Sherman. Fifth hit, and that's it. Enough, they're out. I really need to stem the attack on this left flank. The troops have spotted a Sherman, perhaps the one that took out the Panzer IV. Killed with 1 shot, and it's 2 of his for 1 of mine. Continue to push on the left flank. What I'm trying to do here is set up a fire base and win fire superiority without being too close to the paras. But it's not easy because there's not a lot of cover or concealment. There's a para fire team isolated in the small copse, so I'm trying to wipe them out before I push my troops west into the larger woodland area. After a lot of fierce fighting, I've managed to secure a foothold, and I can see that the paras are starting to pull back on my left flank. So I don't chase them, I just continue to pour fire onto that position to get their forces to buckle and pull back. There's also been some fighting on the right flank, and it's not long before I start to see some armour. Panzers managed to cause some damage. I've lost an entire crew, and so we are 2 for 2. So we're around halfway through, and I make the decision to consolidate my forces and put myself back in a defensive position, recheck where I am, and then decide what to do next. You can see here, Slaughter has pretty much all of the northeast of the map, and I've got a big percentage of the southwest. The first Panzer IV that was taken out actually wasn't destroyed, it was abandoned by the crew. So in a bit of a cheeky move, I get my crew rallied, pull themselves together and get them to load back into the Panzer IV, and so I've got another main battle tank on the battlefield. We start swapping artillery and mortar barrages. So in the foreground you can see Slaughter sending in a mortar barrage in the tree line there, and then in the background with the dark black smoke plumes, my mortar barrage is coming in on the villa and the fourth objective. So once I'd reconciled my forces, I decided to push forward again, sending armour and panzer grenadiers up the left flank, looking for paras that were in the tree line, and also then pushing forward towards the fourth objective. Right flank, I try and hold my ground. I lose another Panzer IV. I continue to push forward on the left flank and down the middle towards objective 4, but it's a tough slog. And there's a number of casualties as I push forward. Using mortar strikes from both sides, we're starting to erode at our forces. You can see on the left flank a squad of Panzer Grenadiers, pretty much reduced to 2 or 3 troops, a fire team accompanying them. Here on the right flank, securing the third objective, is a couple of fire teams. Not much strength there. With my troops moving forward and knocking on the door of Objective 4 for the villa, start to see more contacts, a little bit more heavier fighting than skirmish fighting, so I start to bring up heavier equipment to support these troops. Using my Panzer IVs, pound the villa. If I can get some troops into objective 4 and deny him ownership of that, that will be 3 objectives and the 4th denied, then I'm thinking that I might have an opportunity to win this battle. Inch by inch, my forces push forward towards the villa. Using the combined arms of my Panzer IVs and Panzer Grenadiers, I look to deny and slaughter the objective 4 in the villa. And in the last minutes, I push a lone MG-34 into a destroyed building in the objective 4 to deny slaughter that victory points. Even then, on his own, Panzer Grenadier, pouring on fire, gutsy little pixel troopin'. And as the battle closes, it's a draw. Not really what I was expecting. As I had 3 of the victory locations and the 4th one denied, I thought I'd done enough to win the battle. The casualties were about the same either side, and so if we have a quick look at the battlefield, you can see that I've got forces on 3 of the objectives, and the 4th there, I think there's a Piat crew that have managed to get their way onto that objective to secure that for slaughter or to deny me ownership. Looking around the battlefield, there's the MG-34, more troops on the area there from Panzer Grenadiers. You can see that tank 5 casualties. Lummer 25 casualties, so a real hero there. And with the battle closed, I'd like to say thank you to Slaughterton-McKillem for the fun game, and please subscribe, and I'll try and put more videos out there in the future. Bye all.